Hey there, men. Welcome back to another Truck Talk Thursday episode here on the Wolf and Iron Podcast. I'm Mike Yarbrough, coming at you live-ish from my truck. Well, it's live for me as I'm recording this, not live for you guys, but in any case, I'm coming at you from my truck. If you're new to the Wolf and Iron Podcast, this is something that I do, just some off-the-cuff recording and talking to you guys as I make my way to work or wherever I happen to be going. This morning I'm actually going to work, but I'm making my usual trip to the coffee shop. But before I get to the coffee shop, I'm actually going to be picking up a banner that we had made for one of the guys in our shop. His name is David Quessenberry. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name because we just call him Q. And he's actually going to be shipping out in the next week. Going over to do some training, and then he's going to go to Kuwait. He's a reservist in the Army. But he's going to go out for a fairly long deployment for about 18 months, I believe. And anyhow, he's going to be gone for a good period of time. And so we're getting a banner made for him just to tell him we're all thinking about him. We'll have that hanging in the shop while he's gone, and to make sure we pray for him and all that kind of stuff. It just, when you start a little business, doesn't matter what the business is, when you start a little business, you just don't know the people that are going to come into it and going to cross your paths. And I couldn't be more thankful for Q and for having him go out and serve and knowing he's out there getting the job done and working hard to protect us back home. So it's an honor for us. So anyhow, that's my morning, and that's where I'm driving to. But I wanted to talk to you guys about investing in yourself. If you're like me, if you're like most guys, I think, investing in yourself, whether that be financially, you're taking some kind of training, you're hiring a coach, or even just taking time for yourself, it can feel kind of awkward. Sometimes it can actually feel kind of guilty. I know for myself, there's a sense that it's easier and it feels more right to do things for other people than it does for myself. When I start to do things for myself, I kind of go, well, is that really is it worth it? Is it worth my time? Is it something that I want to do? Or I scrutinize it a lot more heavily. Now that I'm a successful business owner and doing this thing full time, it makes all the sense in the world for me to invest in mastermind groups and to go to conferences and to do the things that I know are going to benefit me. Go on retreats, things of that nature, get books, which I do already. But there's a good bit of scrutiny that goes into it. Whereas if somebody else came to me and said, hey, Mike, I want to go do this thing, I want to go do a conference, even if my wife, she comes to me and says, hey, I want to go do this ladies conference or a business conference, and I want to take some other ladies from work, hey, great, awesome, go do that, no big deal. But when it comes to myself, I've got to kind of talk myself up to it. And I've got to say, Mike, it's good for you. This is okay for you. This is a good thing for you to do. I'm actually going to next week, the week after next, I'll be going to spread my dad's ashes in Washington. My wife has been Washington State, by the way, not in the swamp. My wife has been really supportive of this and just kind of having a bit of an adventure that involves my dad to some degree. And it's one of those things where I've really had to give myself permission to do. So it didn't come naturally like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go spend money on myself, no big deal. Because it's kind of it's a big thing, right? Now, if it's something smaller, like I'm going to go buy myself some clothes or something like that, I'm kind of beyond that point. I'm okay with those types of things. If it's going to the coffee shop and spending time with myself, writing a book or reading a book or working on a blog article or just being there by myself, I got no problem with those things. But I know a lot of guys who struggle even with that. We actually were talking to a guy in the Wolf and Iron community, our online Facebook group, about this recently. And he was talking about how basically his wife stays at home, takes care of the kids. He goes and has a business and he runs it. And he needs time by himself. And the way he recharges is to get away in nature. So he'll go on a hike. But about halfway through the hike, he's like, man, my wife's sitting back at home with the kids, and here I am trying to take care of myself. I don't feel right about it, so I turn around and head on back. And whatever that investment in ourselves looks like, it ought to be comfortable. Now, granted, we do want to take care of other people. Our primary job is not to be self-serving. It is to take our strength and our abilities and use those in the service of others. That's the chivalrous thing to do. And it's the right thing to do. But we've got to invest in ourselves, guys. And if we're not willing to do that, then it shows that we don't really believe in ourselves. We don't really believe that we're worth it, right? We don't really believe that we're worth the effort, the expense, the extra time, the extra thought. And here's the thing, you can't be a good leader if you're not investing in yourself. People need to see what it looks like to invest in themselves. It's actually a thing that they want to see. What does it look like for someone to benefit, to do something that benefits themselves? And so here's what I want you to do. This year, plan out. I want you to do this week, but plan it for the next year. How are you going to make a specific investment in yourself? A kind of an above and beyond kind of investment. That may be going to a conference. That may be joining a mastermind group of some kind that's going to help you in your business pursuits and your career pursuits. And that doesn't have to be a financial investment, by the way, guys. That could just be a time investment. Find 3 or 4 guys that you know that are going somewhere in life, that share common interest. Don't necessarily have to be in the same industry. In fact, a lot of times you don't want to be in the same industry because it gets kind of boring. But people who you know and trust, and you would appreciate their advice, and just say, hey guys, let's get together once a week and commit to that. So it's an investment in time. But whatever it happens to be, sit down this week and say, I'm going to make an investment in myself. It may be going out on the big trip. You know, I think the trip out to Washington, the flight from the round trip flight for me is about $600. I think it was about $400 to stay in a home away place, which is kind of like Airbnb. If you guys haven't heard of home away, they're actually I like them better in terms of just they don't support all the stuff, the homosexual and everybody's got to believe in everybody and be buddy and all that kind of crap that Airbnb does. But not only that, but their actual website's much better. I'm not going to get into the details on it, but if you go check out HomeAway, I think you'll dig it. But anyhow, it's about $450, and I think I'm renting a car out there. That's maybe another $200. I don't know. But, you know, it's a round trip kind of thing. It'll probably end up costing me just over $1,000. And, you know, maybe $1,500 if I splurge while I'm out there. The point is that whatever it happens to be, you've got a year to plan this thing out. Put something on the calendar and say, this is the thing I want to do. This is an investment in myself. Now, you may want to bring your family along with whatever it happens to be. That's fine. But make sure it's not about them. This needs to be something that you're writing down that's about you. And here's the thing. You're going to benefit from this. And when you benefit from this, you're going to say, I want to do that again. And you're going to plan another one. You're going to plan another one. It doesn't have to be something elaborate, okay? Just because I'm talking about the trip, you got to think out of the box. Maybe this means I'm actually going to go on a 1-hour walk every week by myself on the nature trails around where you live, something like that. It means that you're going to actually go to the gym and you're going to, knock it out of the park there every time you go. Whereas before you've been holding back because you don't want to be too tired, for other people or for your job, whatever the case is. Look, forget that mess. You got to invest in yourself, guys. If you don't invest in yourself, it basically says, I don't believe in myself. And you're worth it. Okay? And that's hard to accept. I get it. Some of you, maybe because of how you're raised, but you are worth it. There's someone up above that tells us that. God says that He created us for good things. He has good plans for us. That means you too. You're not excluded in that. He's got a purpose for you, and He's opening up a road for you to go and figure out what it is. He wants you to invest in yourself. He wants me to invest in myself. And you know what? We're going to be better men when we do. And once again, welcome to the Wolf and Iron Podcast. Look forward to talking to you guys. Hey, listen, if you have any ideas on how you're going to make that investment in yourself, if you're going to do something different, whatever that thing you're going to do this year is, you want to share it with some guys that you're proud to share it with, head over to the Wolf and Iron Facebook group. If you're not a member there, you can become a member. Maybe. We don't let everybody in. But if you go to wolfandiron.com/the group, you'll be redirected over to our Facebook group page, and you can request membership there. There'll be a couple of questions for you to fill out, answer the questions, and as long as you're not an idiot, you'll probably be let in. So, I look forward to seeing you guys over there. It's time for my coffee. I'll talk to you later.